Hello there and welcome to LEGO Fortnite. So, you might have noticed that I've been on a building streak in Ark Survival Ascended, and this little game just came out and it looked kind of fun. It looks like, you know, you have the survival, you have the building. You also actually can do some creative building, so I decided to hop onto Fortnite and try this out a little bit, see how this all works, if it's any fun, if it's anything that I can see myself doing in the future, and how much freedom do you get to build. So I'm only in the creative mode, basically means that you don't have to collect anything, and right now you can see me trying out some of the pre-made structures. They basically, I mean, this is basically just Legos. Like you have a build you like and you build it according to the instructions, which I think for a lot of people will be very nice because it's very easy and very quick to make a nice looking build or even a nice looking village, because I think especially in survival you might want to do that to attract some more NPCs. But yeah, this actually works pretty well. I mean, it's Lego, so it works like you would expect. And it looks pretty good, of course, because the Fortnite engine just looks and works very well. I also like the fact that they translate a lot of the Fortnite skins into Legos. Looks really nice. Yeah, it doesn't take too much time to just finish your Lego pre-made build, and then you have something to enjoy. I built this watchtower because I really enjoyed the look of that. But then I started decorating all by myself, so I like the combination. You can make a prefabricated build, and then you can still add your own flair, your own touch to it. And there's actually quite a lot of options, especially considering that this just launched. So hopefully, if this goes on for a while, they'll start adding more and more stuff. But for now, there's a lot of options that you can check out and try and see what you like, see what works and doesn't work. But yeah, I made this little cozy watchtower into basically my personal home, and yeah, I think that works pretty well. Now, of course, I don't know if I would be playing if I could just do these prefabricated things. So after trying a second prefabricated building right here, just to see the differences and a little bit of a bigger build, to get familiar with the building. Of course, I'm also going to try out the free build, because you are actually able just to use all the different pieces that are in the game and try to build something from that yourself. And that is what I'll be doing in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, these prefabricated structures look pretty good. They definitely serve their purpose, and I can see in survival why this is very handy. Just you build something very quickly. I think what could be very cool is that I know they have these custom maps in Fortnite where people can build maps and you can play other people's maps. I think for LEGO Fortnite it could be kind of cool if you could upload your own design and other people could download and build that in their game. Imagine, you know, being able to watch a tutorial thinking, that looks kind of cool, let me add that to my own game. Before I start building in free mode, I decided to explore the world a little bit. The world looks very nice, and there's actually plenty of things to explore and discover. So I get that in survival especially, this could be very fun. And I mean, I just had to go to this mountain. I had been calling my name for all this time when I was building, and it does look very good. The game looks very nice. So I think it could be very fun to play. All right, let's get started on a build of my own. So now we're in free build mode, which basically lets you select all of these different blocks, just like in Legos. Basically, this is basically you having a lot of blocks, throwing them all in one bin, and then trying to decide what to build with it. Now, it definitely works, but it's also, in my experience, quite difficult to make everything fit and line up, because you really have to, there's a lot of different shapes and different sizes of blocks and blocks that you do have and don't have. So at least for my first try of this free building mode, I found it quite difficult. Like, you really need to get familiar with all the blocks that are available to you and what like sizes work. So after a quick little sleep, I decided to continue with my house. So far, it's, you know, very easy. I decided to build something in the style of the pre-made houses that I built before because I was a little bit more familiar already with those blocks and the options that you have. But you have these different sizes of walls, and you basically have to make it fit to your foundation in some way, which can be a little bit tricky. Maybe if I'd done a little bit more like research or spend a little bit more time on this and figuring out like what sizes there are and what will work best. But, you know, I kind of just jumped in, and here I found out can't place this wall next to these lock corners because these lock corners stick out a little bit more than the space they're on, which is one of my major grievances with the way the system works now, because it's kind of hard. I tried to build this little extension to my house. I don't know if I just missed a block or something, but I couldn't really make it work in the way I wanted to, because this wall wouldn't really fit the way I wanted to because the other logs stick out a little bit or something. It's overlapping, won't allow me to place it. So I had to find a different material to make this actually work. Now again, that might just be me not, you know, knowing all the different blocks, but I could imagine that being frustrating if you're trying to free build something and make it look good, that it doesn't quite line up. But then again, maybe that is what happens in LEGO. Sometimes it doesn't quite fit the way you thought it was going to fit, so you have to rebuild a little bit more. I'm sure if you spend enough time on this, you can make it work. At least I'm very happy that you get the option to do this free building, because if it was just the pre-built structures, at least for me, that wouldn't really be too exciting. But I think for the majority of people, it's probably also fine. They just want to build something quick and easy, don't want to be bothered by having to design something themselves. Now I'm trying to build a roof on my build, and that was actually the most difficult part, because then I found out like on the end of this build it doesn't really line up the way it usually lines up for these buildings. So I was like, oh, maybe I messed up. Maybe I can't actually build it like this. But I know there's a corner piece because I checked that out first. Like I checked out there was a corner piece, so I knew that I was going to be able to make this kind of roof. So I decided for now just to leave it and to focus on the main part and see if I could make it line up when I do the corner. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely fun. It's definitely challenging. So I think probably my main mistake was just jumping on and only spending like maybe an hour in total in game. And instantly trying to build something. Maybe if you spend a little bit of time, you can probably find some better ways to make this work. But it is kind of exciting to see another one of these big survival games with a pretty decent building system. For me, at least, that's usually the most exciting part about these survival games. Like I played a lot of Minecraft in my days, and I did a lot of building for that. And now, of course, I've jumped into Ark and do most of my building in there. So that's also the reason why I wanted to check this out, see if it was any fun, because if the building was really fun, I could see myself playing this a little more. Right now, I'm not quite sure. Maybe, but it would probably depend also if I'm just going to be playing by myself or whether some friends are also playing this game, because I don't think it's probably more fun if you're playing together with some friends. But yeah, here again, I was having some trouble lining everything up correctly and making the corner of the roof work the way I wanted it to work. But yeah, it's basically just getting familiar with how many blocks long some things need to be, because there's a lot of different variations, which I guess is a good thing, because you could probably make a lot of different buildings because of that, because you have like various sizes of most pieces. It's just if you don't really know the exact length of most of those, it can become a little bit tricky sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it didn't take me too long to at least finish this roof somewhat decently, like the first layer. And of course the other side is less complicated, but again, you do have to you know, count a little bit and see what will line up. I thought I was being smart by using a bigger piece, but then it didn't line up anymore. And then it was time to do the top part of the roof. And this actually turned out to be the biggest challenge because apparently there's not really a middle piece for a roof that I designed. Like there's no really a T-shape roof ridge in this style, and I don't think there's in most styles. So that kind of became my new problem, as you will see in a little bit. Like I tried to, of course, finish this shape nice and easy like you would expect me to, and I had hoped that I could overlap a little bit, but by now I should have realized that it wasn't there. The only thing I saw was that corner, but that wouldn't work for this either. So I think maybe this is my own fault of not checking this before I started, if there's even a roof option for this. But if they would let you overlap a little bit, I guess that's not how LEGO works. So maybe I should have realized that sooner. Yeah, I had a lot of trouble finding the best way to finish this roof and make it look nice. But yeah, it wasn't really working for me. Like I tried a little different things, but nothing really lined up that well. So in the end, I decided to take away what I had and do it the other way around with the smallest gap I could possibly make in the roof, because you know I wasn't about to just start the house from scratch again. So yeah, this was the smallest gap I could get there, so I decided to go for that and then have the little bit on the end sticking out a little bit further, which, you know, I guess looks fine. It's not perfect, but not bad either. I think for like a first free build attempt, I think this ended up being pretty nice. Then for this front porch, I found out that the railings that I really wanted to use didn't really completely line up with the foundation that I still had left. Like there was still a little gap. So yeah, again, I just tried the best possible way for me to make this somehow fit, or fit a little bit. Again, it's not the perfect build. Probably need to spend more time, but I had some fun trying this new game mode. But yeah, let me know what your experiences are so far. Have you tried out this new LEGO Fortnite survival game mode, and do you enjoy the building? Do you think this is something that you will be doing more? I'm not quite sure, but at least I had some fun trying it out and built this little village on top of this hill. For now though, I'll probably stick with Ark.